101.5 FM, got a new album come through this week.
Very exciting album, actually.
Very good, and one of the interesting things you see with it, produced and engineered by Rod McCormack. You see that, and you know there's going to be quality associated with it straight away. So find out a little bit more about it. The album is called Dragonfly, and there's a very inspirational story behind Dragonfly. And to find out more about it, the artist is Johnston, and he joins us on the line. Evening, Drew. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yourself?
Very well, mate. Now, congratulations firstly on the album. Is this the first album for yourself?
No, this is my second album. My first album that I recorded with Rob McCormack I did a few years ago, and it was called Blue Sky.
Okay. And what sort of success did you have with that, Drew?
Oh, look, reasonably good success in my local area, up in the Blue Mountains and Western Sydney area. So, yeah.
I tell you what, you talk about the Blue Mountains. A lot of great singers come from around the Blue Mountains. It must be very inspirational when you get up there, hey? The songwriting just flows or something.
Yeah, it's fantastic up here. I mean, the artistic talent up here in the mountains is just amazing.
There's in the inside of this album, there's a little note here, and it says, "This album is dedicated to a young warrior who passed away some years ago. I keep his photo in my studio to remind me to live with purpose. I struggled for years to write his song," and it goes on. Now, the song is Dragonfly. We've followed the links to Dragonfly, the spiritual black belt story, and we'll give people the direction where they can go through, because I think rather than talking about it too much, we'll go over it, but I think it's that sort of thing where people really need to read the story behind it. How long ago was the story of Joel the inspiration for Dragonfly? How far back do we go?
Oh, we go back about 6 years ago, and I was working with Joel for quite a while. Yeah.
Now, the background behind this, of course, is you're a martial arts instructor, Drew.
Yeah.
And you work with a lot of disadvantaged and challenged children in some way. What was different about Joel's story?
I think the big difference was Joel really had his heart set on achieving the rank of first Dan black belt, but when he became quite ill and was unable to sort of follow the general sort of traditional way most people get a black belt in martial arts, which is very physical. I had to put a program together that would suit his needs, and it was quite apparent to me that the young fella wasn't going to be able to follow the traditional path. So hence the spiritual black belt was designed and put into place for young Joel.
Gee, that's an incredible story. That it must be so important for a young fellow that is terminally ill, that they can still find a way to achieve their goals.
I think so, and and one thing that was quite clear to me, working with Joel prior to him becoming sick, was he really wanted to achieve the black belt for good reasons, and the main reason was he wanted to have a greater sense of achievement. He wanted to do something with his life, and that's why it was so important to keep working with Joel when he did become sick, and right up until a couple of days before he passed, we were still working together, and it was just a really beautiful experience.
It says on your bio, Drew, that you work with kids with ADD, ADHD, mild autism, and so forth. Do you find that the disciplines of martial arts assist with that, with understanding, getting them involved?
I think it does. Like the martial arts sort of gives these kids, some kind of direction, and it gives them a certain boundaries that they can work within. And when the kids are given, the boundaries and the goals are really clear, and because martial arts is very physical, the kids also get a lot of enjoyment out of doing something where they can be moving and enjoying themselves at the same time.
And it's probably burning a little bit of energy too, because look, it takes a strong person to understand autism. I have a few friends that have autistic children, and like a lot of actually entertainers have them themselves. And it is hard to understand autism or ADD and ADHD. A lot of people go, oh, yeah, those need to go hiding and things like that. So you're looking from one side of the realm to the other, and you sort of go, well, wait a minute, there's something in between here, and we need to be able to funnel this energy, and it's probably whether it be through music, whether it be through arts, or through martial arts or anything like that as well. We need to find that little bracket, and I suppose it's not for everybody. Or are you finding that nearly everybody could go through the martial arts thing to sort of get themselves out of it?
It's really hard to say that everybody could, but I believe a lot of people with conditions where, with autism and ADHD and similar behavioural challenges like that, I think a lot of these kids get pushed to the side and they're not encouraged to participate within a lot of community activities, whereas I actually look at their personalities and think to myself, well, I have to be really clear about what they can and they can't do. And like, for instance, in martial arts, it's a highly repetition. There's a lot of repetition involved in what we do, and kids with autism, that's right up their alley. And so instead of looking at them as having a very challenging characteristic, I look at it as like, well, this is perfect because I don't have to mask the repetition, because these kids are, they're going to be there doing the same technique time after time.
It's highly disciplined too, isn't it?
It is. And but the cool thing is, it is highly disciplined, but unlike some other disciplines, in martial arts, they get frequent rewards. So every couple of months, they're getting graded up to the next level and getting promoted. So all they're hearing is praise, like, yes, you're doing really well. And this is something a lot of these kids don't get, because they can't participate in a lot of sports because, some coaches just can't work with them.
And they probably get bored after a while too, thinking, oh, I'm bored now, I've got to wait till the end of the season and wait for the oranges to come out at half time. So
what's your escape, Drew? Is your escape music, or is martial arts your escape from music? Which way does it go for you?
I see them both as the same thing. They both require a lot of discipline. They both require a lot of focus. When I think in terms of achieving a goal, for me, I think in terms of 5, 10, 15 years. And I guess that's the same for a lot of professional musicians. Nothing really happens overnight. And so my escape would be at times when, I'm getting a little frustrated with the songwriting, I'll go and do some martial arts training, or vice versa.
It's not a bad effort, though. 10 songs on the album, all penned by yourself. Not a bad effort.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
He's you know what? He's just too scared to say anything else in case you hit him. Being a
Hey.
Imagine being in the studio with Drew. Oh, that was great, mate.
Excuse me. I'm a black belt in origami. I know around a piece of paper.
The funny thing is about, I hold the rank of 6'10" master in martial arts, and I'm the best person to get into a fight with because of being involved in martial arts for over 30 years. I know what it's like to be hit, so I don't want to be hit. So I don't want to get into fights.
Yeah. Good call. Now, we're going to play this song, the title track, Dragonfly. It's subtitled Joel's song. Now, if someone wants to know more about the story, what's the best way that they can jump onto the website and find out more about it and learn a little bit about what you're doing?
Well, look, if they can go onto the website, the Drew Johnston website, and then from there they can go onto the Dragonfly Spiritual Black Belt website. From there, they'll gain quite a lot of, they'll get a greater understanding of what we're trying to do. And also, my manager also can be contacted, if anybody needs more information.
Well, I think it's an interesting read. I think it's certainly an inspirational. I love the analogy of the dragonfly. It's quite obvious the life of the dragonfly is very short. Feet hardly touches the ground while it's here, and you just got to make the best of it while you're on this earth. And I think it's a great analogy. So, well, congratulations with the album.
Thank you very much.
Now,
and
Drew,
thank you to your listeners too.
Well, we're going to actually put it on to the listeners because before Christmas we had a campaign to buy an Aussie album for Christmas presents. Well, we've got Easter around the corner. Instead of getting our waist a little bit bigger, how about we dig out into our pockets and buy another Aussie album for Easter? How good's that one?
Oh, that sounds terrific.
Good idea.
Sounds
And this
great.
is one that should be in your collection. Drew Johnston, Dragonfly. And here's his song right now. Thanks for your time tonight, Drew, and we'll catch up with you again shortly.
Thank you very much.